Hello everyone, this is Mike here again, and I'm back with another video today. And the video we're going to talk about today is going to be titled, "We are here to awaken as many as we can." And what we're going to talk about today is what we can do as light workers that are remembering ourselves as our higher selves. What is the most powerful way we can contribute to what's happening in the world right now. So whenever we think about awakening as many as we can, that means different things to different people depending on the level of consciousness they're in. If someone's in a very intellectual place of understanding things with mental ideas and containers, then awakening people could mean to them convincing them that the way that they see things is correct and not the way that they see the things is right. And I wanted to talk about in this video how when we're here to awaken as many as we can, what we're doing is we're not trying to force people to do anything. But what we are doing is using the laws of unity consciousness to embody within us what we want to awaken in the world. So whenever we want to awaken as many as we can, the first thing you have to do is to reclaim yourself as your higher self and remember how to reconnect to that. And affirm that, because that's how we can awaken as many as we can. That's how we join with the gigantic momentum that's already happening around the world of all of the many light workers and people who are stepping into their higher self and their own freedom. So we're being here to awaken as many as we can. That's what we want, because whenever you look back at your life when you get old or you cross over or whatever, then you're going to look back and think that you wanted to awaken as many as you possibly can. That is the reason for being here and being able to connect here. If you're in the world right now and you are able or interested or capable of seeking to reconnect to your light, that is your sole purpose. And you still make choices and you still move forward with your goals and your career and whatever's important to you, but reconnecting to your higher self and reconnecting to the global grid of crystalline light and lightworker grid is how you can awaken as many people as possible. And why is that so important right now, to awaken as many as possible? Because all of the global lockdown from the virus that's been going on over the past month and a half, that is encouraging lots of people that have never been interested in spirituality to maybe decide to look within themselves and face themselves and see what's going on for once. Sure, lots of people are burying themselves in addictions and Netflix and drugs and codependent relationships to avoid the uncertainty and the feelings of fear in the world right now. But also think about how many people are finally deciding maybe it's finally time for me to just look into how to be more present with myself, how to have more self-compassion, how to just take responsibility for the way I feel instead of keeping burying myself in all of these other things. So awakening as many people as possible is the most important thing right now. And it doesn't mean you go out and try to preach to people and prove that, all is one. And because whenever people are in a different place of consciousness than someone that is consciously knowing themselves as able, capable, and worthy of being realized in the light, if it's often that they just cannot understand what you're saying. What you say goes through a filter, and all they hear is just crazy. This does not compute. This is foreign. I don't know what they're saying. But we can still present them with an energetic opportunity to awaken by knowing who they are. Like, it doesn't matter if they think that they're small and powerless and confused and guilty and hopeless. Whenever you're embodying your higher self and seeing through your higher self's eyes, you can see exactly who people are as perfect creations of the divine. And that is completely independent of however that it is someone may or may not belittle themselves and lessen themselves. The divinity within people is invincible, but they have the power to overlook it and create this illusion where they perceive themselves as not one with their divinity. But we can awaken so many people energetically by just giving them the permission and the opportunity to choose their higher self. Like, there's so many amazing teachers in the world right now that have done this, and it's just like they give people permission, like not like in a patriarchal sort of way, but as in like an energetic follow the leader way, where they're saying, here's what's possible. You can become this compassionate, this loving, and this free. This is what's possible for you. And then when people see that, they make a free will choice that they want to become like that. They want to follow that example. And awakening as many people as possible is it becomes easy whenever we connect to the light grid of the earth, connect to each other's light, because no one is doing this alone. That's just an ego idea of trying to be powerful by yourself. Awakening the collective. That is the complete goal. That is the end point of humanity being confused about who it is or where God is or what our purpose is. And we're here to lead the charge on just declaring that is possible. That is who we already are. We're already that. We already are our higher selves, but we're so powerful that we have to declare it to remember it. And if you feel like you're separate from it, then you'll never be able to self-invoke who you really are. And so awakening as many people as possible means awakening your own higher self within you, because every person ultimately shares the same higher self. And when you awaken that self within you, that same self is given more of a probability of awakening in every other person if they just take the first steps towards it and say, I don't understand why I feel how I feel, and I'm acknowledging that there is something beyond me. I'm asking for help, but I'm keeping my dignity. I know that I'm important. I know that I'm worthy and loved, but I know I need help, and I'm willing to receive help, energetic support. And that support comes from people who are more spiritually mature, and that could be light workers around the world, or it could be ascended masters and people's higher selves who are, always present with people, whether they know it or not. But the momentum happens when more and more people create this energetic collective thought form where everyone is saying this is possible. You just have to choose it and have faith that you can become your higher self. We already are a higher self. It's easy. Just declare that you are your higher self right now. So that is how we can awaken as many people as we can. And the other part of this video I wanted to talk about was that this is an important thing for me. This was a big realization I had about the reason why, like, myself or others try to be spiritual. Like, why? What are you trying to achieve by becoming more spiritual? For a long time, I was in a spiritual ego structure, and I didn't realize it. And the reason I was trying to, I mean, everyone I think does this, but you have to grow out of this to keep expanding, is becoming spiritual just to feel happy, just to feel loved as an individual. And that can sound kind of harsh, but if you think about it, trying to be spiritual and reconnect to your higher self just to feel happy, to feel good individually, is like using the, what am I trying to say? It's like just vastly limiting what's possible for you in your spiritual development. Because if you're just trying to call on the aspect of your higher self that can make you feel happy and loved, then you're only calling on that as the reflection of your higher self that's able to make this happen within your individual consciousness. So that's really just kind of self-serving. It's kind of an egoic pattern of just, it's just about me. I'm trying to be spiritual. But what is extremely liberating and allows for just like infinitely more love and power from your higher self to flow through you is whenever you consecrate your practice to the freedom of everyone, or as they say in Buddhism, the liberation of all beings. Because when you do this, it's not about you individually trying to feel happy, trying to feel spiritual. That's just a byproduct of the real work, which is embodying your higher self for the liberation of all beings. Because whenever you choose to allow your higher self to reconnect to you and manifest through your own heart in a way that is powerful enough to be for the liberation of all beings, you're reconnecting to the already liberated state of every being. You're calling that forward. And so, in the universe, there's countless Christed beings and souls in various stages of evolution, of being tied to physical creations like humanity is, or beyond. So calling on your higher self for the liberation of all beings infinitely expands like what you're calling on, infinitely expands the light that is moving through you, and you're just being a vessel. It's not about being a physical being amazing on your own. You're reconnecting to the part of you that is one with every angel, every ascended master, every galactic, every cosmic being. And that is all just the collective energy of Christ consciousness. That is what humanity is. And it's not about trying to be spiritual on your own. It's about reconnecting to that part of you that is already realized. And, it's not about having anything to prove or trying to show off how spiritual you are to your friends. That's just the ego trip disguised in spirituality. But a true spiritual practice is for the liberation of the world. And you do that by calling on your higher self, by seeing within yourself visualizing the earth and humanity fully ascended in the light. Every person knows that they're an aspect of the divine. Just imagine like thousands of people chanting or invoking their higher self together. And then imagine like light ships and galactic beings coming down to Earth and manifesting physically, because the Earth is ascended into the 5th dimension where all this stuff already exists. And you can imagine like ascended masters descending from their unity with their higher self in the higher dimensions, and manifesting physically. That is what's possible whenever the liberation of all beings is the primary intention for the liberation of all. It's not about an individual. It's about the collective consciousness of all of us. It's about how holy we are as a race. And we just have to reconnect to it and declare it. And we do it by declaring how worthy we are, reconnecting to our worth, and not the ideas about worth, about what we need to figure out, accomplish, how much money we need to make, where we need to be, who we need to be with. No, it's knowing who we are. Divine worth is our inherent state. It's what we already are. We don't have to prove anything. And that's a state of pure unity and knowing that we are our higher self right now. And in the instant that you declare that you are your higher self, which is the name of God, I am, you are awakening as many as you can. You are awakening yourself for the liberation of all beings, for the ascension of the earth, for the ascension of humanity. That's how you awaken as many as you can, is you align to the momentum of what's already real in the earth and how many people are already doing this, and just invoke yourself. Declare who you are. I am here. I am the light. I know who I am. I am holy. I am free. I am exactly who I am meant to be. We are the light. And so that is how we can awaken as many as we can, by moving out of how we identify ourselves through our ideas and fearful creations, and into a consecration to divine will, which is to be of service to the liberation in all beings. And that is going to be about the end of the video. I have no idea how long this has been. Probably about 20 minutes, I guess. I hope that this video helped you just to connect to a deeper sense of purpose about what it means to be spiritual and what it means to reconnect to your higher self, as not something you have to figure out and try to accomplish in the ways you think it needs to happen, but instead it's invoking yourself as the you that's already here, free from all ideas about what you need to be or who you need to be, where you need to be. You can be your higher self right now. Right now, you are your higher self. You just have to declare it. And that's how you can be of the greatest service to all, for the liberation of all beings. And that's how you can awaken as many as you possibly can, by being exactly who you are. Isn't that something? Well, thank you for listening to the video. This has been Mike, and I send you the highest blessings, joy, and gratitude for being here. You are worthy of knowing yourself as your higher self, exactly the way you are. Thank you. Goodbye.